Hey everyone, it's Johnny here. Welcome to 5 Ways by Attack Magazine, where we show you 5 different ways to use a particular piece of gear. Today we're going to be taking a look at Polyscape 2 by Karanyi and taking a look at some super quick, effective, intuitive ideas for using Polyscape 2 to create ambient techno, ambient type music, that sort of thing. So let's not mess about, let's just get straight into it. So let's kick off by making a nice staccato lead. Here's a quick example of the sound we'll be making. And here it is in the context of a loop of quickly knocked up with some bass and some drums. So we'll begin by taking the initialized patch on Polyscape 2, making sure the envelope's locked together on all 4 sound sources. We can set a fairly plucky ADSR envelope, and let's also experiment with some of these modules for more of an interesting and engaging tone. And locking together the dimension chorus effect for the top 2 sources, we can dial in a nice chorus to thicken up the sound, whilst adding some of the space reverb to the overall sound is going to help bed into the mix. It's actually got quite a nice trancey feel to it now, this lead. Now let's roll up some of the 12K frequency control on the tone EQ. It helps the sound pop a bit more. And via the lock button found bottom left of the instrument, we can disengage this and tweak each sound source individually. So a little adjustment on the volumes, for example, and a touch of compression and limiting, and the sound's done already. Polyscape excels at creating super rich ethereal pads, so let's give this a go now. So here's a little preview of the next sound we'll be making. This time I'm going to call up the Dark Skies preset. It's not a bad starting point, but definitely going to need some tweaks. I'm going to kick off by backing off some of this reverb mix. Rolling down the release provides more clarity, less mud. Other than a few other touches, the main thing I wanted to bring to this sound was some rhythmical context. With the lock button checked, I'm going to add the LFO to the filter only, sweep up the mod amount, set the frequency resonance, and call up the sine LFO waveform. Essentially, I'm looking for a nice rhythm that makes the sound less static, and as long as we have some decent chords triggering the instrument, we'll have a beautifully rich, detailed pad sound. Next up, we're going to do a super quick effect swell. Here's a little preview. And this will be a nice opportunity to flex the Prophet style filters featured in Polyscape 2. I'm going to dial up the Terra sound source on one module and turn the other 3 modules off. And now to engage the filter, a decent amount of modulation from the LFO and a good help of resonance. And then by automating the filter cutoff on our door to sweep up over the course of a few bars, this will create a nice orchestral brassy swell. Okay, now for a nice deep bassy drone sound. Here's a quick preview. Going to opt for the earth shaking patch this time. Provides a decent jumping off point, and using the mod wheel on our MIDI controller, we can blend between the different modules, providing some lush dynamics, perfect for a sustained 1-note drone like in our example. Just going to increase the reverb mix for a big cavernous sound, whilst boosting the sub level, and changing the setting to the wide mode is going to extend the low end even further. And we have a super easy, super quick, super droney sound. Polyscape features some fairly extensive options for randomizing parameters, so let's have a stab now and create an experimental texture/atmosphere sound. You can see along the bottom of the instrument here, we can randomize whichever section we like. So let's randomize the sound sources, as I reckon more than anything, that's likely to have the largest impact. Okay, nice. That's sounding fairly ambient and otherworldly. Interestingly, in addition to randomizing sections, we can randomize individual parameters within each section. So I'm going to give this a whirl with some of these parameters within the EQ and reverb sections. And of course, if we want to dive in, change anything specific, reintroduce a bit more control, we can do this. So I'm just going to roll off some of the low frequencies, create a bit more space for the bass sound we've got in this loop. And again, we can use the mod wheel on our MIDI controller to blend between the different sound sources we've got for a nice bit of movement. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video using Polyscape 2. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give it a like. And we've also dropped a link below to the Karanyi Sounds website where you can go and check out Polyscape 2 in more detail. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.